Welcome back. It's another episode of Selective Ignorance. I'm your host, your favorites reference, Mandii B, and today we are talking about the topic that the internet will not stop discussing, whether it's standards, whether it's what you want in a partner, what you don't want in a partner. Everyone talks about my type, nigga, that's my type. Recently, Summer Walker said fuck her type when she showed up to the VMA's red carpet with a tall glass of spoiled white milk. And she pretty much told y'all to mind your business. Also, after we've already had everything we had to say about the two men that she chose to create children with, right? We also have Aisha Curry, who at this point, there's a humiliation kink going on there. Aisha Curry loves to embarrass the legend that he is, the NBA superstar Steph Curry, anytime they talk about their relationship. And she recently went on an appearance of Call Her Daddy and talked about how actually at first Steph wasn't her type. Now, as a wife, is that something that you should be sharing with the world? It's tricky. And then, of course, we talk about Miguel, who recently had a surprise announcement with his partner celebrating the 1-year birthday of a child with a woman that he wasn't just with for the last 20 years. The internet is ablaze with the fact that this man moved on and didn't give his last woman a child. But we're going to talk about that all next. And I am joined yet again with my super producers. We have journalist Jason in the building to help hopefully correct me with anything I say wrong, because surprisingly enough, I do admit, sometimes I be wrong. Not often, but sometimes. And so when I need to be corrected, Jason is here. And then, of course, we got OG podcast legend, A King.
What up, gang?
Also there to pretty much give his takes on all the things. And normally he has a different...
My undiagnosed takes.
Your undiagnosed takes. That's crazy. And that's because we can't say the R word. And then I am joined by also someone who all of you follow. You have probably been to one of his many live shows. If not, you have played his card games, because he is that much in tune with everyone in the culture. Y'all, I am joined by Ace Metaphor. He is the creator, the host, the legend of tonight's conversation, and all talks about dating, relationships, types.
I'll be trying.
What do you? No, you be doing.
Yeah, I'll be trying.
You be doing. I need to know where you pull these thoughts from, because whenever I really see you online, it's just like, oh my God, I hate what you're saying, but I also know a lot of people love what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. So listen. I was just talking actually yesterday about this. I've been in this space for about 10 years now, right? And so let me tell you this, as a person that does content, because also I'm a content creator, a producer, you look for just new and interesting ways to say the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Facts.
you know, because, you know, I done answered the same type of question 36 times.
Yep.
And so it's like, for myself, just to keep myself interested, I challenge myself to think of something in a different way, or think of a different metaphor or analogy.
How do you do it? Do you read? Are you soaking in content from other people? Like for me as a podcaster, everyone is always like, damn, you listen to other podcasts? I listen to other podcasts so much because in order to keep up on having my own opinion, I like to hear the opinions of others, because even when I'm in my house, I like to disagree with people. So with you, with your live shows, with touring, with the Tonight's Conversation even show, is it like, how do you keep having new and fresh ways to say the same things?
So first, yes, right? So also in that same conversation, is ironic. A lot of people don't know I started as a poet. And so like just my brain of working through the creativity of thinking of a new analogy or this, that, and other, it's just, it goes there. But then also, I mean, I've at this point done 300-400 shows. You know what I'm saying?
This little flex.
You know, I've live streamed. I used to do it more, but on a daily basis. I've been around so many different creatives, so many different thought leaders, so many therapists and dating coaches and then I've answered so many questions. And then also I post the content. So I read through the comment section just to get the temperature of things. So it's always inspiration to talk about something.
Yeah.
And then also, I mean, I also think that the spirit leads you. Sometimes like I'll be on stage and just something called me to say something. So like, I think it's being in a space and feeling the energy and then being able to open yourself up to wherever your thought process leads you. And I always say this, I mean, as a panel, it's an impromptu show.
Do
right?
do you live by everything you say?
Do I live by everything I say?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because,
and I guess that's the difference with me. Like if I, like,
but let me explain.
Yeah.
No one lives by everything
Cap.
they say.
I do.
No, what I mean is because nobody's perfect. You can give best practices. I can open up about my failures, which I do a lot, or things that the mistakes that I made or how I fall short, and that's my testimony. But when you're giving best practices to other people, that doesn't mean that 100% of the time that you're going to be able to live to even your advice. When you think about professors, therapists, dating coaches, presidents, whoever, we all make mistakes because we're not perfect.
We can make mistakes, but I think in terms of the content that I give out and how I maybe advise people to navigate their relations is based in fact and truth on how I live and operate. And so, yeah, I may have made mistakes along the way, but what I'm saying is how I advise people to move is legit how I live. If I say you should probably have 2 boyfriends because XYZ, or if I say, well, you gonna go back because you done stayed and you cheated already, I've been in those same spaces. So to me, the advice that I give has, whether it worked or didn't work for me, I believe I give advice that I live by.
So, okay, then
you know what I mean?
You're giving a testimony. You're giving your testimony for somebody else that's different. But when somebody gives me a question and what can be best for them, that may be different than what's best for
you.
Me.
Okay, I got it.
So like what I mean is the best practices part, you want to, of course you want to give therapeutics. Of course you want to give something that helps somebody. But that doesn't mean that always, and I think we get into this discredit culture because people think that just because you've made a mistake or you stumbled, that it invalidates everything you're saying. And then also, let me tell you this. The last thing is you also grow.
You
right?
do.
There's a frame of mind I may have been in 2 years ago
that you're not in today.
That I'm not in today because there's a life experience or something changed my opinion about something, or now I can relate better to a situation. And I think what happens is when you post things, those become like memorialized on the internet, and it stays viral and relevant. And so something of an opinion from 3 years ago that maybe I don't feel the same now.
Yeah, like, y'all, I'm not a hoe no more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even move that way. I'm out here, living my best life, being treated very well by all my boyfriends. Like,
and can I add one more point? One more point. Also, though, I also think that it's the totality of things, right? Because I feel like when you get in this space, especially as a content creator, you've probably got thousands of hours of recorded material.
Way too much.
So do I.
Yes.
But what happens is people will narrow in on a certain clip and forget the context of your whole catalog.
Yep.
And they'll box you into saying, okay, you're not practicing what you preach. Well, no, I've already admitted 1,000 times to this or that or this, or I live this way. I tell people I'm in the streets. I'll do that all the time. But then it's like, okay, well, I see this Instagram clip, and in my head, I framed you in this way. And so if you're not doing what I think you should be doing, you're living contrary to the advice you're giving. And I think that's that. I think in the internet today, we have to understand that people make us into characters. And they
do you not feel like you make yourself into a character? Like, if you're focused on a certain amount of content and you're looking to feed a certain demo that's going to buy the games, that's going to come to the live shows, essentially it's not the people turning you into a character. You become almost a caricature of yourself as well, because that's how you're making your money. Like, so for me, and I know we talked about this a couple episodes ago, Jason and A King know that I live as myself on camera, off camera. I'm the same person. But I think for you, having known you, you're not half as this animated guy. You're actually really chill and nice.
Do you think,
yes.
Do you think that the majority of people that are following you see you as a real person, though? That's what I mean about a character. Do they see you as a real person with real emotions, real feelings, a real family, a real life when they make that comment about you on the internet? They don't. They see you as that character. They see you as that influencer. They see you as that thought leader. They start to stop seeing you as a person. And that's what I mean about a character, is not that it's the persona that I'm, okay, that's different. But
right.
I think it starts like real people have multiple different sides. Real people have multiple different perspectives. Real people make mistakes. But when you're not a real person to the masses, then now it's like it's an unfair standard that a lot of influencers.
I was going to say not only influencers, because that word irks me. As soon as you're deemed a celebrity, which is what we see. Like when Cardi B or certain artists like shoot back at the bad comments, it becomes like ignore all the comments. And it's like, bro, as a human being, do you know how many comments we ignore before we actually say something back? And so I think it's the term celebrity. I think majority of my audience in my demo does view me as a person, because they've got to come on a journey with me. I share a lot of my personal life. They know too much about me. They might even know my goddamn cycle. That's how much I share. But it's the people that once they view you as a celebrity, they think you signed up for abuse. They think you signed up for the negative shit. And that's when I think that they take away the human element, that we make mistakes, that we have feelings, that bro, the normal person cannot sit here and read some of the comments that are said about us or our thoughts or our opinions on a daily basis. Bro, everyone shouts how much mental health is supposed to matter until they hop on that internet and have something negative to say about somebody. Now you don't give a fuck about the person's mental health that's about to read your bullshit ass statement about them. So it's a little tricky. I do say I do like your content, and you're newly in Atlanta, Georgia, newly single and out in these streets ish. Oh wait, are you single still, or you got somebody?
Yeah, I'm single.
Okay, I love that for you. I have a clip though. We have a segment called Double Down or Take It Back, where we like to ask our guests if they still stand by this particular content that they put out. And if you don't, you could say what you would change about this, and I'm going to let you know if I agree with this or not.
What dating tip in 2025 to women is stop dating men that don't like you like that. That is the answer to all your problems. Sometimes you're with a man that don't like you like that. You be like, Ace, how can a man go ghost on me? Do you think a man that can't go a day without thinking about you is going to also go a day without texting you? Sometimes the problem is you think that man likes you. And so here you are, overcommitting, overgiving, putting your heart in the hands of a man that only sort of likes you. He sort of likes you when it's convenient. He sort of likes you when you allow him to be him, do him without consequence. That man likes you out of convenience. He don't like you like that. When you find a man that likes you, he moves different. A man that cares about you moves different. A man that desires you moves different. That man don't require you to chase him. That man don't require you to teach him how to act proper in a relationship. That man is ready to give you his last name. That's how strongly he feels about you. Sometimes the most dangerous man to be with in 2025 is a man that's indifferent about you. Because that's the men that'll go with the flow you into a heartbreak. That's the men that lead you on. That's the men
Hey, King, is that you with all them goddamn ad-libs?
Purgatory, year after year after year, because they like you enough to waste your time, but they don't like you enough to not waste your time. My number one.
Okay. I have thoughts on this
that
clip.
Was facts.
You stand by everything
facts.
there.
Can I start?
Yes, please.
Let me tell you.
Before I get into my thoughts.
Now listen. I do understand.
He was cooking. And you got a hit record in there, by the way. He don't like you like that. Somebody out there that's listening, you know what I mean? Throw some coin.
I know, right?
He don't like you like that.
So listen.
He don't like you like that.
I know, right? So here's the thing. Now, I do understand that in the video, you know, there's this arc villain nigga that we're talking about. Okay, so I do understand this, but what I'm saying is, just as a dater, as a man that has been dating, from my own personal experience, you move different when you like a woman. You just do. There are certain women you will send flowers to, and there's certain women you send "Are you up?" text to. There's two different women, and it's based off of how you like them and how you view them. And for one woman, because you're inspired to, she piques your interest enough, This is the woman that you will pursue. This is why a lot of times women are confused how a man can be in a relationship for 5 years and never propose to her.
And then propose to
a next girl in 6 months. It's just a different level of like. And what I was just imploring women to do is to find a man that like you enough. The things that you are desiring, that you want, that you expect when a man actually likes you to that level, it doesn't feel like you're begging him. When you gotta beg a man for quality time, that man don't like you like that.
Okay.
Now here's the thing. The video was saying like that. He may like you. He may have some feelings towards you. He might fuck with you a little bit. But like you like that is different.
Okay.
And here's the thing. Lastly, any woman that's listening to this right now, you know the difference between a man that likes you and a man that like you like that. Period.
Okay.
He said that emphatically.
He did. I mean, I guess because I listened to even the things that you were talking about, I could like someone and not text them every day. You saying like if he don't text you every day, he don't like you like that. Like, I mean, I think to me, these ideas that someone shows up full throttle out the gate isn't realistic in dating. I know that, you know, I'm not new to dating. You're a little new to dating. To me, those expectations of someone showing up that hard out the gate is not realistic. I think in 2025, especially with the dating apps, the swiping, most people are dating multiple people at the same time. We all have jobs, we have lives, and sometimes I could go from texting all my niggas in one day and nobody get a text the next day. It doesn't mean I like them any less.
Well, so
I think we have unrealistic expectations in terms of intimacy and dating relationships that make it all this like that narrative that someone doesn't like you because they're living life or because maybe they're going through something. Or I think someone can like you like that and not text you every day. I think someone can like you like that and not show up in certain ways because life is happening.
I said in the video,
Yes.
it was a question. It said, do you think a man that can't go a day without thinking about you would also go a day without texting you? So what
Do you believe that?
I believe that if a man thinks about you on a daily basis, that man is also going to send you a text on a
Every
daily
time
basis.
you've thought about somebody, you've texted them?
If I'm with a woman I like enough that she dominates my thinking on a daily basis, she will get a text message from me on a daily basis.
Okay.
Period. There is no way I'm going to think about her. And what I mean by think about it,
Okay.
I'm thinking about, damn, man, I really wish we could have hung today. Or damn, I'm thinking about your smile.
Okay.
Or damn. And so when that thought comes in your head, a man that likes a woman is just going to send whatever that little quick thought is. Yo, I wish you was here. Or how's your day going? Because I'm wondering about it. I'm wondering how your day. So I'm not going to wonder about it and then my hands not be moved to send a 3-second text. Maybe I don't got all day to talk.
Right.
Maybe I ain't got all day to go back and forth. But if I thought about you, I want you to know I thought about you because it's important for me to let you know that. So what I'm saying is, if you ain't found a man that can't go a day without thinking about you,
I would just say, allow a man some time. Jason, how long did it take you and your wife to get to the place where y'all were texting every day? Or was that kind of out the gate? I know she used to date your friend. I know it was tricky. I can't remember the whole story about how you and your wife got together. It's a little tricky. But how long, and I'm only saying this because as we're dating, I think it's not healthy to assume that a man has to show up that way out the gate. So how long did it take you to actually get to a place where you was hitting your now wife every day?
Yeah, I mean, I would say pretty quickly. I don't disagree with Ace is saying. Like, I think he's on point. Your behavior changes for somebody you like versus somebody who, you have an interest in. You know what I mean? Like, when you generally like somebody, you activate against it. Even the texting is sort of like I wonder what you're doing when you're not with me because I want to be with you. So it's like, what are you doing? Where you at?
So is there a clear way to find out if a nigga like you like that or not?
I think from the beginning.
Yeah.
From the beginning, a woman should know if he like you like that or not. Before sex,
so.
before
I'll give you a story.
Oh, I love story time.
It is, like I said, I think some men categorize. So there are certain women, and I would say the majority of the women in my life that I've met fit inside this category.
Okay.
Which is when it's convenient for me. you know, I got stuff to do.
Okay.
I'll hit you back when I can.
Yep.
There's certain women, you make the time for.
You make time for it. Okay.
There's certain women when you meet, you lock eyes, the vibe is so right that the very next week, even if y'all live in separate places, how can we make this link happen?
Okay.
It's a certain energy that a man can respond to. And let me tell you why. And this is just speaking from my situation or people in my scenario. I think enough men have fumbled quality women to not allow that to happen again.
Okay.
So when you find somebody that's right, you say, you know what, I can't half step because that pain I went through, half stepping with that girl I actually like, and now she with a nigga that's actually bringing energy. You like, that's not gonna happen again. So something as simple as being consistent with text messaging. You know what I'm saying? Something as simple as, and what I mean
that's
is,
an easy indicator.
And I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
The key metric in seeing if somebody likes you, and this goes vice versa, is if they're willing to reciprocate that energy. And what I'm finding is, and that's why I made this video, I know we're moving a little bit, the goalpost, is a lot of women they're leading when it comes to dating now. They're initiating a lot of the text messages.
Is that a problem? Because I'm only asking you that because I'm an initiator. Like if I'm out and I see a guy that looks good, I'm shooting my shot. I don't mind letting a guy know that I'm interested.
Yeah, that's fine. But when I mean leading and dating, I mean you are asking him when we're hanging out. You are, hey, you ain't took me out in a while.
Okay.
You're doing a whole bunch of that. If you start to do a whole bunch of that,
he don't want to.
He don't really like you like that. Now, it's not meaning that he can't grow to like you like that, but you have to, as that woman that's dating, you have to say, you know what, I'm willing to take this gamble. And you can't, if you see those signs, you can't then now blame him later on when this man is saying with his energy and his effort that, hey, I don't really like you. He ain't that
interested.
Yeah, I ain't that interested.
I mean, I think a lot of these men ain't that interested in women to begin with, but that's a whole nother topic. I'm just saying. I think men like to have sex with women. I don't think they like women, but that's another topic for another day. Especially living here in goddamn Atlanta.
And can I say one more thing? And listen, I'm speaking for myself. So for all the fellas that are listening, if this don't apply to you, it don't apply to you.
Let it fly.
Oftentimes that man only has the bandwidth to really, really like one woman at a time. Oh. Like that. And what I mean is that man can entertain multiple women, but he really likes one. And so the energy he's not giving you is because his bandwidth with giving that type of energy is somewhere else.
Is that man thing or human thing? Because I feel like I could like, right now, I like 4 people about the same. One I like the most because he's been around the longest, but I like all 4.
I agree. I'm saying that's why I said my specific thing.
You can only like one person.
Like that.
When
it's like, okay, good mornings, texting, calls, FaceTime, trips, date. Like for me, I can only do one person like that with that type of energy. But that doesn't mean I can't entertain other people. It's just I don't have the bandwidth.
See, that's the part where women don't understand. Like,
is it equal percentage?
What do you mean?
For the 4 gentlemen that you are...
My 4 boyfriends?
Is it 25-25? Which one of the 4 is giving?
Right now, well, because they all long distance. They all getting the same energy.
Oh, they all long distance. Okay.
They all long distance. Ain't nobody local.
They all getting you up text?
They all... Not you up,
but
because what am I going to do if they all getting good morning, good night? They getting phone calls, they getting FaceTimes, they're getting like.
But 1 out of the 4.
They all getting the same pictures.
Piques your interest in here where it counts.
Can I fight back on that?
I
believe in her instance, speaking from a woman's perspective. I'm not a woman, but I'm just giving you an observation because women in dating typically are receivers. It's easier to receive the energies from 4 different men equally because oftentimes they tend to be the initiators. What I'm saying is from a man that has to be a giver to have to be that initiator, it's hard to initiate 4 different ways.
That makes sense.
To a level to where she would think that she's special. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the way I'm telling everybody, my birthday coming up, I better feel special.
And if she's aware that you're outside, so to speak.
So listen, let me tell you this. Let me tell you how there is only one girl, a man, in my opinion, for myself, has the bandwidth to answer her calls no matter what, right? Because for that woman, if you're with another woman, if she's with you, you can't pick up the other girl's calls. But if you're with the other girls, you can pick up her call.
Okay.
You can walk out. You can do whatever. Because you like whatever. But like, there's only one woman a man can just drop everything and pick up her calls for. You can't have multiple.
Unless they all know about each other.
And we not doing
all,
that.
all my boyfriends know about each other. I love that. All of them know about each other. So
I'm just speaking to the archetype of open daters without being that transparent.
Oh, well, the archetype is interesting. Fuck my type, not my type. We're talking types. Where we want to go first, Jason? Do we want to get into Aisha Curry or do we want to start Summer Walker?
I think we should start with Summer Walker. I feel like she set the table for it all.
Summer Walker, y'all, recently turned heads when she appeared at the VMAs red carpet with an older white man. And when I say older white man, I'm not talking Brad Pitt old. I'm talking Hugh Hefner old. Like
Robert
gray
De Niro
hair,
old.
like he was at least 65, 70 years old. He was an old man. She introduced him as her special friend. And for anyone asking how deep their relationship got, she pretty much was just like, mind your business. Now, for those of you who have not been up to date with Summer Walker and her public dating, she has a child with producer, what's his name?
London on the Track.
London on the Track. And then following that relationship, she got with a man who she tatted on her face, who went by the name Larry. She has also dated Lil Meech and Rico Reckles, who both are in the entertainment space. I would say. I don't know what Larry did. But basically, she is now currently a single mother of, I believe, 3. And I'm not mad at her right now. She pretty much took to Instagram to say, fuck my type. It hasn't worked. And so I'm going to try something new. Now, a lot of people are also assuming that this may be a sugar daddy. And look, you're like, okay, and like that she may be dating now for other incentives outside of intimacy, real love, real attraction, which, what a face. What a face.
Because everybody dating for whatever reason, like, you know what I mean? And there's the sugar daddy aspect. If a man is in his 60s, 70s, 80s, and he's gotten to that point where he has the wealth enough to share in a way, and this is how he likes to express his care for somebody, let me tell you this.
Do you really consider this dating then? And I think this has been my issue. Like when and I talked about this on an episode with Ish.
No, I gotta say this to you. The reason
this is not dating. This is prostitution.
We don't know that because right now what we're doing is we're stereotyping him based off of his age and looks. And this man may be there to support her mentally in a way those other men haven't.
Okay, valid.
And also,
valid.
He may also have a bag. So oftentimes we talk about looking at somebody's spirit. Sometimes looking at their spirit is looking past their vessel. And just because this man seems to be a little bit older doesn't mean his spirit isn't beautiful to her. It doesn't mean that they don't connect in a certain way. And let me be honest with you, a man that's 70 and 80, he probably got a lot of patience and a lot of understanding and a lot of empathy because he has to grow into that. And then there's a lot of wisdom there. Whereas if you're the other people that you named, I don't know them like that, but some of them sound like YNs. And so like now
you sound like YNs.
And so now you get to the space where you get a seasoned man. I can see, and I'm gonna say it from a male's perspective who has entertained older women. I can see the attraction there of someone with a wealth of life experience.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. I would say if Summer is dating this man for all the things that you said, yes. However, if she's dating him for any financial gain, financial reasons, to me, I think I've said it before, if you are out here dating and immediately counting a man's pockets or what they can do for you financially, that to me is not dating. I'm sorry, that is transactional arrangements. Like there used to
Ace is giving a big shrug.
Nah,
right now,
because there's a website called Seeking Arrangement. If you are seeking an arrangement, then you're not seeking a partnership or relationship in my mind. And that's because I've been friends with sex workers, prostitutes. To me, looking at a man for what he can do provision wise and not everything else makes you that. However, like you said, if she wants the emotional intelligence, those other things that you just mentioned, then yes, she really could be looking for something different.
Hey, yo, you can be in a relationship with a woman you were married to for 5, 10, 15 years, and at some point she sees you as the person that just pays the bills and takes care of things. A lot of men have experienced that in relationships, and you ain't 70 or 80. You're 35 and you're 40. A lot of men that are taking care and breadwinning, you know what I'm saying, still experience that with a youthful woman. And they're still in their youth. I guess what I'm saying is the thing that hurts the most in that scenario for the man is not knowing. I didn't know you were using me for my resources. I didn't know you were only staying because of the security. I thought you loved me. So if a man gets to a phase where transparently up front, I know what the arrangement is, a lot of men would be okay with that. I want
to push back just a little bit on that, because I do feel like when you're in a relationship as a man, like you said, and you show up as the provider, you pay the bills, and now you're only seen as that, is because a lot of men lead with, "Well, I do this," as if that's the caveat and reason for them being there as to why they don't show up emotionally, as to why they don't date anymore. I pay the bills, I can do whatever I want. And so a lot of times when a woman views a man just as that, it's a lot of times because the man puts themselves in that place to be seen just as that, because that's the value that they bring to the relationship.
Well, we adding a lot of sauce to this, because what I'm saying is, regardless of those variables, what I'm saying is oftentimes a man is motivated to do that because
let's blame the patriarchy.
No,
it's
because
the patriarchy too.
No, it's not even that. It's because he loves the woman he's with. You love that woman you're with. You trust that woman you're with. Now, that doesn't mean he's an effective husband. That could be true. But what I'm saying is his motivation to do that, he's not doing that for a woman he doesn't love, he doesn't like, he doesn't want to be with no more. Oftentimes it is, I care about you, so I'm sharing. We're on the same bank accounts. You have access to my money. You have access to my credit cards, because that's the way I show I care about you. What I'm saying is men are okay with that. They're just not okay with not being on the same page. If the page is, hey, this is transactional, I think a lot of men, if they wanted that, would choose that. But if you're here under the pretense that you love me back also, and that stopped a while ago, and you're not letting me know, and you're still reaping the benefits, and then you start plotting, and then the divorce, and you taking money. A lot of men don't like that.
Not divorcing being a plot.
So my man, listen.
Not divorcing being a plot.
Because I didn't want to even get into the gender war stuff, but you done made it. You made it a. Well, he ain't doing this. This is why she. No, it's my experience as a man.
Yes.
Divorced from how you feel about it as a woman, and whatever happened in this relationship. What I'm saying is my experience is saying I'm okay, regardless of whatever got us here, with if I'm 70 and 80.
Yep.
My first wife died. That's the only woman that I want to love in my lifetime. I do not want to get married again. I have all this money. My kids got kids, and they doing their own thing. Nobody calling me no more. Nobody visiting me no more. And so I got all this money. And I'm
gonna go date Summer Walker.
I'm gonna go date Summer Walker. And listen, she may not really love me like that, but she loved me enough to not lie about that.
Okay.
She loves me enough to say, I'm not saying this is what she's doing, but anybody in this situation, you love me enough to tell me, hey, listen, this is fun. When you with me, we gonna have fun. We gonna do fun things. I'm gonna help you feel young. Now, let's be honest. I'm probably not gonna marry you. And he probably don't want that same thing. He probably
don't want to be married.
I guess what I'm saying, there's people for everybody. As long as you're upfront about your intentions, I don't have no problem with it.
I'm not gonna lie. I 100% agree with that. Now, I want to talk about what respect and maybe liking your husband looks like, because the internet is saying that Aisha Curry does not like Steph Curry, does not respect him. She has come out multiple times during the pandemic. She came out, and I believe it was another podcast. She shared that she likes the attention, or would love the attention from other men to make her feel seen. But recently she sat on Call Her Daddy, and we have a clip for what she had to say about before they became husband and wife. What did Aisha say, Jason?
Thought that he would like someone like me. I just didn't think it was going to be a thing. I thought we would be friends. Yeah.
Did you ever have anything in high school at all, or it was legit just friends?
No, just friends. Just friends. Yeah.
I get what you're saying of like you never saw him as something, but I'm like, when you look back, is there any memory that you're like, maybe there was something or no?
No, never. I in the beginning hated it so much. I like did not sign up for that. I also always thought like I didn't know that he was going to end up playing basketball. Like he said he wanted to be a high school basketball coach. Like I thought I was going to be like the girl out there getting it. So I didn't know. I just never.
What's it?
The money.
Oh.
So she thought she was gonna be the.
She was gonna be the big deal.
She was gonna be the big deal. She was gonna be the big person. Thought that he was just gonna be that. Also started like she thought that they were just gonna be friends. She didn't really like him like that.
Mm-hmm. She's saying it's too much.
She also
more?
said she didn't think that he would like her. That was the first.
Yeah,
part.
there was. I mean.
But why are we hearing so much of this from we? You see what I mean about clips, right?
Yeah.
But we're hearing that thing from her for the last 5 years.
She does.
We don't hear nothing else other than, oh, I didn't like him. I don't know.
Oh,
if I like
need
him.
attention from other men.
Like,
yeah.
Do you think I'm gonna defend that comment though?
You're gonna defend which part?
The comment when she was talking about, quote unquote attention from other men, because I don't want to misquote her.
Okay, yes. Could you find the exact quote, Jason, that she said about that?
I know the spirit of what she's saying. The spirit is, imagine being with one of the most sought after men in this country.
No, he's not.
No.
Women do not want Steph Curry. Bruh,
hold on.
I think more men want Steph Curry.
Hold on, listen.
Because Steph Curry's a fucking 3-point shooter. He's great in the league. Women do not want Steph Curry, bro.
Okay, time out. Time out.
Bro,
let's rewind.
Bro, they don't
back.
want him.
Let's rewind.
No woman in my group chat be like, "Damn, you see Steph Curry?" Bro, men want Steph Curry because he can shoot 3-pointers. Women are not out here wanting Steph Curry, bro.
Okay.
We got the quote. You want the quote now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what's the quote exactly?
All right, so this is from Aisha. She was on Red Table Talk. She said, something that really bothers me and honestly has given me a little bit of insecurity is the fact that, yeah, there are all these women like throwing themselves at him. But me, like the past 10 years, I don't have any of that.
Any men throwing themselves at her?
Yeah,
okay.
I have zero. This sounds weird, but like male attention. And so then I began to internalize it, and I'm like, is something wrong with me?
So let me first give context to both the things.
Yes.
Both the things are, that's why I said we have to see people as human beings. When you don't see people as human beings and you only see her as Steph Curry's wife, then now there's a level of expectation that she's not also experienced in the human experience. One thing about the human experience is, and anybody who's been in a long-term relationship will feel this. Like, you want to know, yes, of course, your partner's gaze is the only gaze that truly matters.
Okay.
But, when you start walking into rooms and no one turns their head, and that happens over and over again, and the person you're with, people turn their heads at him. Like she said, she was like, you may feel like he's not desirable.
And a lot of other women don't.
But also you have to.
I can't believe they have so many kids. They don't even look like they have sex.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yo,
anybody that's 6'3", light-eyed. No offense, light-eyed.
Light-eyed is crazy.
Light skin.
300 million plus. I mean, the only reason you feel that way right now is because he ain't on demon time. No. If that man wasn't married and was on demon time like Clay, like you can say
not
nobody.
Like Clay.
I'm gonna tell you.
Clay is in a relationship.
No, I'm just saying. Before Clay has an extensive dating history, and if he was married right now, nobody would think that he was that guy. But like, he's married. Steph has been married, so he's always given off husband energy, so that repels respectful women, right?
Okay.
But
there's
a lot of women that may not be respectful. So when you're looking at those not respectful women, look at your husband.
Okay.
And you look at not how your husband looks at those not respectful women. You look at how other women look at those non-respectful women, and how other men look at those non-respectful respectful women, and then you say, well, the women that like my husband get the gaze of male attention, but I don't.
You're looking at her from a human element, but do you think it is right as a wife, not even Steph Curry's wife, as a wife, to complain about not receiving male attention?
I'm saying the thing about having these microphones,
right,
is that your goal is to share your experience and be brave enough, because there are certain people that can relate to that.
Okay.
There's so many women in relationships right now that don't feel beautiful
because other people aren't. It's not the wife's.
There's a lot of men. There's a lot of men that have been in a relationship with a woman who she don't feel beautiful herself. So you saying it to her don't even matter no more.
Ooh. Right.
And so it shouldn't be like that. But we are human beings.
Yeah.
We are back to we are human.
And so when she's saying stuff like that, now I'm gonna go back to the type, the actual thing that she was talking about. It goes back to, I understand the spirit of what she's saying though, because I'm gonna tell you this: every dude, not every dude, but I can use certain men. You ain't the shit until you become the shit. And sometimes,
explain that.
What I mean is, the motivation of being overlooked is what motivates a lot of men to become something. Because these women overlooked me, rightfully so.
Right.
Like, I don't even think, I hate men to be like,
did you feel that way? Like, was there a moment where, even where you're at now with your fame, the comments, like continuing to become bigger because you felt overlooked at one point, and now people are throwing themselves at you because you're a millionaire?
Yeah, but also, yes. But see, here's the thing, like, I never...
Ace, you better tell her to stop pocket watching.
I know, right? I never... that's what got me in trouble. But I never stopped, like, I'm going to say this, like... And so, I'm going to answer your question, but I'm going to stick to landing on the Steph thing. So, if in high school...
Yes.
He didn't get the girl he wanted, that's what motivated him to be better so he can get the girl he wanted. Steph may have not have been her type then because he didn't have the attributes he grew into having when he became her type. You get what I'm saying? So I think it's unfair to be like, well, she didn't think he was her type. Maybe her type was ambition. Maybe her type was somebody that had a certain level of grind and charisma, and maybe he had to grow into that by finding his confidence. She said he wanted to be a high school basketball coach. He didn't even have the same confidence in his own ability when he was in 10th grade.
Yeah.
But then now you grow into a man that got a confidence
superstar.
And that know his shot is the shot and know he gonna be this and that. That's a different attraction. So I don't even think the spirit of what she's saying was horrible. I just think it's up to us to see these people as people, real people. Now going back,
and it looked like she would have accepted him if he was a coach. That was
it does.
Hold on, no. Let's be very clear here. Let's be very clear here. A man that's walking in his true calling is a different type of man. And that man exudes certain energy that women are attracted to. If that man really didn't want to be a basketball coach, but he was just settling for that because he didn't think he could make the NBA. Yeah. The type of aura he would have exhibited. She wouldn't
have been with him this long.
Yeah, it wouldn't have attracted that. And so I'm not saying you can't be a basketball coach and attract women. It's just that gotta be what that's
really
gotta
be what you want. I'm not mad at that. Yeah. I agree. I absolutely agree with that.
With myself, like, first of all, I'm gonna be honest with you. This stage in my life, you know what I mean? I always look for things to put a chip on my shoulder. Like, I always look for something to motivate me to be better or to get up at 6 a.m. and work until 10 p.m. And I use that as fuel. But not to say when I get on, you didn't like me or you didn't support me, you ain't gonna have a chance at me. It's for me to say, you know what? If this is the lifestyle I want, or the type of woman I want, or the type of access I want, these are the rooms I want to be in. I can't be mad at people for not giving me that access if I didn't do the work to earn and deserve that. And so I'm constantly doing that. So like even in high school, I mean, I probably had access to some chicks when I was early 20s. I had access to women. I was, having sex with the best of them. But I was having sex with women that was cool with sleeping on a mattress that was on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like when I used to bring people to my apartment when I was 22, 23, we was fucking on a mattress that was on the floor.
I done fucked on an air mattress before. I can't believe I did that. But see, baby, by the end of it, nigga, our knees was hitting the goddamn ground because the air was coming out. How old was I when I fucked on an air mattress? I was like 20. I was 20. I was working on making my money to buy my IKEA platform bed, which by the way, I broke so many of them goddamn shits. Them was terrible. I think it's interesting because when we talk about the human element, you're talking about feelings, but you're not considering the feelings of also the other person. So let me ask all of y'all this. As men, you choose a woman. You're happy with this woman. You're now married to this woman. Is there not any element of where you feel a way that these are the narratives or these are the stories or these are the feelings that they choose to share publicly?
Well,
like, should Steph feel a way that these are the fucking topics that she chooses to keep having, where it's almost somewhat disrespectful to their union, to their marriage?
Hold on, time out. In the grand scheme of things, I can understand the perspective of which you're asking this question.
Okay.
But I also say it would be unfair taking it out of. Well, I'm just say in the context I'm talking about. I don't know them as people, but it would be unfair for a person that gives his everything to the public. That man is on the road probably 200 days.
A lot of days, yes.
He gives pieces of himself. He probably stays after a basketball game signing autographs and this and that. He gets pieces. So many people have a interest in his life and intrudes because of who he is. Now, to say that she can't be also sharing a light in some type of way with the world and what she's passionate about.
She's passionate about cooking. She could sell them pots and pans.
But
to me, like literally, I have an Aisha Curry pot and pan. The skillet, it's really nice. To me though, when we're talking about human experiences, human behavior, yes, she's a human first, woman second, but she's also a wife. And so for me, I do think that there's an element of when I hop on this mic, when you hop on this mic, when you were in a long-standing relationship, you have your thoughts, but you were considerate of the things that you brought to the microphone because you cared about that person. So to me, there's an element of just not caring about your partner when you choose to get on a mic and share something that could be detrimental in terms of how the public is going to view your union or the content that you're sharing.
Let me ask you a question.
And I say it is my ex hated a lot of things I shared on here, so I'm very considerate with what I share on the mic now.
Is she a human first or a wife first? Just
no, I said she's a human first, then a woman, then a wife.
Okay. Now, the human or the wife, which side of her was most excited to be invited on the Red Table Talk? The human or the wife?
Probably the woman of her, but yeah.
The human. Which part of her was most excited to be on
Call Her Daddy?
The wife or the human?
I mean, okay. Yes.
The human.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying is, like, I get we serve these roles in other people's lives, but we are always the main characters in ours. And too often, women, especially wives, are regulated to being the co-star in somebody else's story. In this life, with her, that nigga's orbit is so big that it's probably hard for her to find herself in her individuality because his gravitational pull on what he does pulls her in.
You know, you know what this reminds me of? Oh boy, who started dating Simone Biles. And as soon as he had a fucking mic in front of him, he chose to go up and be like, yeah, she wasn't my type. But like to me, and I get what you're saying hold on.
He said, I'm the catch.
But what I'm saying is, when we talk about this big orbit of a Steph Curry, to me, there's something that if the roles were reversed, if Aisha Curry was this big mega superstar and every time her partner got on a mic, she said some bullshit, to me, there has to be where, yes, you're human first, but there's also, you have to see kind of what's being done. And it's whether it's insecurity feeding it, whether it's she don't really respect her partner, she doesn't really like him like that. Regardless, yes, that's the wife element of it. But every time a goddamn microphone gets in front of her face, she does something that seemingly embarrasses her union. Which, again, if you put it in hindsight, if a man did that to a woman, it's the same thing. It's the same thing that right now Sierra's getting annoyed with. Sierra's on a press run for her new album, and here goes fucking Russell bringing up when I'm gonna put another baby in you. And the same thing is happening. Russell, this isn't your moment. This isn't about talking about y'all in your relationship. Why can't you just be happy for your wife who's dropping an album, who hasn't dropped an album in a while? Like, and people are talking about him like, bro, just support your wife.
What you just said.
And he's going to do it. Land that thing, Ace. I know exactly where he's going.
What you just said, that's the same thing is true. This woman who has supported you to where you can be one of the biggest basketball stars in the world because she's locking down the home. She's coming to the games. She's there when you had a bad practice to speak life in you, this, that, and other. Why can't we expect him in this moment to support her? She got a call to be on Call Her Daddy, one of the biggest podcasts on the planet.
On the planet.
And so to make this moment about how I feel about something you said here and there that is your truth, when you have supported me in all the decisions that I've made for this family, that to me would be grossly unfair. So what I'm saying to you is, while I do understand that there's certain things you can say in public that would disrespect your marriage, I don't think she did that.
Okay.
I think we are just feeling this way because of her orbit to Steph Curry. And we think because she's with Steph Curry, she shouldn't say anything like this at all, when we all know that what she said is the experience of so many women and men.
Okay.
Like what she said, like I said.
I mean, I don't agree, but okay.
What man, no, I'm not going to put men under the bus, but there's a lot of men that may be married. You go out with your boys. You don't necessarily look for women to look at you, but if a woman came up to you and was like, "Oh, you so handsome," blah 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 blah, you gonna say, "Man, I'm married." You know what I'm saying?
No, that's not what they say.
Hold on. Black men.
That's what they say. That's what they
What we
say.
not gonna do is sit up here and lie on this mic.
Like, hey, I'm married.
That is not what they say. Because black men don't cheat. Because black men don't cheat.
Hold on, hey, I'm married. I can't do this.
But married men do not. If a woman go up to a man and be like, "Ooh, you so handsome," I guarantee you, the number one response is,
but I'm married.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That is not the response, Jason. Jason, the journalist. Sure. Hold on, we can't hear you, A King.
I appreciate that, but I'm married.
But maybe you don't have to say. Maybe you could just receive that, and that's it. That'll be the end of the conversation.
But men do not respond like,
if
well,
there's
listen, I'm
another
married.
response from the woman, that's when the opportunity
I'm not
may
going to sit
exist
here
where
and
you
allow
can
y'all to lie
clarify.
right now. That does not be the response. Married men do
Thank
not
you.
respond in that way.
The overall point is,
if they are not interested in the woman, if the woman is not attractive, they might say that. If the woman is an attractive woman, they do not lead with, "I am married."
No,
my point is,
no, of course not.
They're going to sit there and entertain that woman.
If you go out,
Subjective.
look,
Shut up,
it don't make no difference.
I have to keep this agreeing.
All right,
I can't change
let's-
this.
You can't agree to this.
Let's make it not about she came and approached, but let's say you walked in and a woman looked at you a certain type of way, right? It as humans, that does do something for us. It's not like it has to replace, like I said, the gaze of your partner. But when you start going year after year after year after year, right, and no one gives you a look, and then let me tell you why. With her, the reason men probably don't look her way at all
Because they want her man.
No, because they know who her man is.
Right. It's
Okay.
They're being respectful. Like,
Yeah,
there's not a shot.
There's not a shot at all. So now it's just like, damn, I know he thinks I'm sexy, my husband, and yes, that should be enough. But there's so many people in the world that can relate to her experience. So that's why I'm saying,
Man, shout out to Savannah.
Hey, listen, I'm glad
Savannah would never.
she
But Savannah
honest.
May, she's not on the microphones. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No.
she's honest.
No.
She has a
Savannah got a whole
She got a
podcast.
podcast.
I know, but she's not the guest. She's not the guest.
she's
not
the
on seat.
host.
But she's right. So she's asking the question. She's not.
Nah,
being
she's
pressed
talking.
to
She's
ask
sharing her
stuff.
experience being LeBron James' wife.
But it's not salaciously where you're like.
Because she ain't disrespecting
But
her
I don't-
union.
I
He's
don't-
disrespecting
I
LeBron.
But I don't think she's being salacious. Like, consider this, right?
Right.
When we're talking about relationships and types, right? On a basic level, what people are seeking is to have a partner, right? Whether that's marriage or not, they're seeking to have a partner.
Yes.
And so Aisha is somebody who has that. And so she's speaking about her participation in it and how way back at the beginning, she didn't think this person would be there to have the thing that she has now, right? And so, like, in some ways, I think she's also demystifying the process. Marriage is weird, it's strange, and it's difficult. And way back at the beginning, this person who I didn't even think I would get to, who just wanted to be a high school basketball coach, like, I didn't think he was my type, and I didn't think that I was his type, and now we're here. I don't necessarily think it's like her disrespecting as much as sort of like demystifying the process. Granted, it's a clip, so I don't know the full extent of it, but you know, that's usually, you speak to a lot of people who are in deep relationships, and the beginning of it was, I didn't think this was my type.
It's funny
I didn't think
because
she was my type.
I want to lean into a little bit of what Ace said earlier with Summer Walker, but even this with what we're saying about Aisha Curry. You put some really good information in here about why most people actually end up dating someone who isn't their type. So relationship researchers Paul Eastwick and Samantha Joel did a 2025 study. So y'all, this is current. You can ask people all day what they find attractive in a partner, but none of the many traits people list, including physical attractiveness, stand out as being more important than the rest in predicting how satisfied people are with their relationships. I'm curious to ask, I know you're divorced, A King, You're
damn.
I'm sorry. I mean, I want to know if
Christ.
even you, Jason, who you guys ended up with the longest in your life, if they were your type. Why or why not?
Who?
As a man, like your partner who you were with for X amount of years, Jason, you now. If you had a type going into it, is your current partner that type? Or what steered you away from the type and how?
I think that my wife is sort of and it's funny, she's upstairs. I don't want to be too loud. She's gonna come down here and shut this whole podcast down. I think she's actually the combination of like the last two women that I dated.
Oh, that's crazy. You had to get kicked out. No,
but plus more. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I think there was things that I liked about these two previous women, but for some reason when I was younger, like it wasn't enough. Either it wasn't enough out of myself or it wasn't enough out of them. And then with her, I saw one woman in her, I saw another woman in her, but then she brought something that I couldn't even
more
expect.
than right.
Yeah, and it was more, and I could probably say that I had a type, but to the point of like what you said with the study, like the thing that like ultimately emerges is something that you didn't even consider, and I think that's why sometimes people will tell you like, "Oh, you're gonna marry her." And you're like, damn, I didn't even see. I didn't even know the thing that I was looking for because I always keep looking at my type.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie.
Like my man saw it and was like, "Are you done?"
Yep.
And then like 5 years later, he was like,
called it.
Told you. Yeah.
Period. I mean, one of my boyfriends right now is under 6 feet tall, and that's normally not my type.
I used to get that all the time. You're too short. You're too short. You're too short.
I think you got the when you go to the doctor's office, you got the. I think you just have them walk there. You.
No, deadass. I used to be like, I'm not dating anyone even under 6'3", and I think now getting older, you have energy that actually supersedes everything that kind of you go in when you date that you think you want. And then the energy of someone actually keeps you there longer than their physical attributes. Because then you also know after a while, them physical attributes going to start, they're going to start falling off just a little bit. Now, I guess we can get into all the messiness of types real quick to close this out here. And I do want to just say my thoughts on this because I think the internet and their selective outrage about it is absolutely ridiculous. Miguel made a surprise announcement that welcomed a baby last year with his new girlfriend, filmmaker, and she's also like Vogue, something with Vogue, Margaret Zhang. They began dating in 2023. To let y'all know, he was with Nazanin Mandii. They split in 2021. However, they were together for like 20 years. They were together for a long time.
Since 2005, it says. Yes. They were married since 2018.
So they were together for, so about 18 years. The internet is having a fuss about the fact that he's celebrating this new family edition with a woman that's not the woman that he was just with for 18 years. However, in a 2019 podcast interview, Nazanin did say she wanted kids, just not right now, as she was focusing on her career. I think that there's a timing around things, and she doesn't have kids even now. So this idea that she could even have them, whether it be through her own womb, adopting, surrogacy, whatever, I hate the conversation around this nigga had a baby with somebody that wasn't her. You don't know if they were trying at any point. You don't know how tumultuous their relationship was towards the end. You don't know her decision to not have a baby with this man. A lot of times the decision is on the woman, and y'all know I'm pro-choice all the way. So we don't really know the ins and outs of that relationship, whether or not she was ever pregnant by him. I hate the outrage of the internet whenever it comes to the conversation around what a woman is doing with their body.
Can I add a thought real quick?
Yes.
So one of my favorite series.
Okay.
Y'all can, if I can't say, you can always bleep it out.
Okay.
I like Black Mirror, right?
Okay, I love Black Mirror.
And the reason I love Black Mirror is because every episode can be standalone. You don't need to watch the whole season to understand.
Okay.
I feel like in our lives, our chapters, we feel have to bleed into each other and they have to build off of each other, but they don't. This is a new chapter that's standalone, that has nothing to do with his last relationship.
Chapter. Okay.
And I think when we all as human beings start to look at our chapters that way, we can move on from things quicker. We can stop pocket watching or progress watching or baby watching our ex, because we know that our current chapter don't have to have anything to do with our previous one, and our partner's next chapter don't have to be an indictment on ours. The chapter we shared together. It was good while we had it. In this season in our lives, we did the best we could. We're moving forward. And I believe...
Hey, Jason, write the clip down. That's the clip. That was one of the best analogies I've heard. But you're very true. Very true. And I think the fact that who we are as individuals and how we essentially end up growing in terms of the relationships we have. We talk about being fully healed from previous relationships or bringing those traumas into new ones, to where you're right. They don't have to bleed the way we assume them to bleed. Yep. And so I like that. And I think that that's exactly what this relationship shows. Their relationship, no matter how long they were together, didn't work out. Mm-hmm. They're also the blessing of not having to be tied to a person that it didn't work out with. I think that's another thing we don't consider. When there's children in relationships made, you now are bonded to that person for life. There are relationships that I have in my past that I'm so grateful were able to end without the attachments of a child.
I agree.
And I think we have to allow that for the women that we know, for the single mothers we know, for how hard that is. It's celebratory and should be celebrated that we know this partnership between them did not last, ended in a divorce, or ended however it ended, and now she is able to go and start a life or a family with someone else without the attachment to someone that didn't work.
I'm gonna say this. This would be my little small testimony time.
Okay.
Like a couple months ago, I was talking to a friend, and it was interesting because I used this analogy. I get my name Ace. Metaphor from Ace comes from Paid in Full. Okay. The main character. That's one of my favorite movies.
We talked about that in Black cinema.
And one of my favorite scenes is when he's talking, and after he got shot, and he said, "Man, I'm walking different, man. I'm talking different. Like I'm fucked up for real, right?"
Yeah.
And earlier this year, a couple months ago, I was having that conversation with a person, and I'm like, "Yo, like I'm fucked up. Like I'm walking different. Like I look at people different, just based off of a lot of things that's been transpired in my life." And at that time, I thought it was a negative thing. But then you start to love the way you now walk, and the way you now talk, and the way you think. And you realize whatever that fucked up thing that happened was necessary for your elevation. And I just question people who have went through divorces or breakups. Can be traumatic. It can be.
PTSD.
And it can
literally
it can make you think different. But see, what we do is we don't embrace that as the vehicle of growth. Oftentimes we stagnated in our lives because we didn't have that catalyst to grow into what we were actually supposed to be in our next chapter in life.
That's literally what my therapist said. My therapist was like, when breakups end bad, or when they're tumultuous, and when you're really hurt by it, you question whether any of it was real. You hate the person, and you kind of lean into that hate. And it took a while. And within therapy, it was like, but look at who you become through that relationship. Look at what you were able to learn about yourself, what you were able to learn about what you want in partnership moving in the future. You might not have been able to learn any of this without him, without this relationship. And so I think, like you said, we kind of hate how we feel because it hurts. It sucks. It's like, why do I have to feel this way? Why did I have to go through this? And it's not until you could reach the other side that, damn, without this, I wouldn't be able to find my worth and value or voice in a relationship. I wouldn't be able to know how to move differently. But it takes people a lot of times to be able to look at something as a lesson instead of like, why was this done to me? A lot of us like to stay in a victim mindset in terms of breakups, relationships, things that don't go the way we planned it to go, instead of looking at it as, no, this was a lesson that I can be happy happened.
Let me take
at the time it did.
Let me take it a step further, because while everything you said was facts, oftentimes it's not even your thoughts in relation to them. It's what that experienced turned you into that you start not liking.
Yeah.
Like you liked the fact that when you could trust everybody. Now when you walk in the room, you look at people differently.
Yep.
When somebody betrayed you, like if you've never experienced that,
you're right.
The way you were able to so freely just give, and then now you can't do it no more. Now you vetting people more, and you don't like what this experience turned. But that's why I said, man, maybe my leg don't work the same as it used to. But the way this limp is kind of cool. You know what? Now I got a little swag. You know what I'm saying? Like you start to really embrace those changes. And what I'm encouraging people, and that's why the heartbreak thing is something a lot of people can relate to, is in your new season, before you can get other people to love reading your chapter, you gotta love writing it. Oof. And I want everybody to love the story that they're now crafting. No matter how grim or if you're starting over, you got to start loving those words, because when you start loving those words, everybody sees the passion you're bringing to your own life. Yep. And then this is how you get other people to be intrigued. And this is how you find your next partner. And this is how you have that baby. Maybe you always wanted or just wanted. Right. But this is now part of your new chapter that you're now loving. And then here's the thing. The one thing I learned about turnover and chapters, there's always gonna be motherfuckers that miss the old. Man, I wish the way you used to write. And why didn't you have a baby with that other person? They always want to bring you back to the last chapter. I was gonna say,
I love to point out the hypocrisy in people. The way that people are so upset with Miguel about celebrating the birth of his kids is literally the opposite in the way they celebrated Cassie having the family with Alex Fine and not having it with Diddy. So to see that women have literally celebrated Cassie for having a life with her next partner, I don't understand why Miguel is looked at as the villain for having this family with his new partner. Y'all know I love to point out the hypocrisy in y'all, and I'm just saying there was a stark difference in how y'all responded to both of those people publicly.
Undiagnosed.
And listen, they be undiagnosed. Well, listen, at the end of the day, I want y'all to know, if y'all been listening to me for a while,
I got a question
I no
for
longer
Ace,
got to type. What's your question for Ace? Because this is going to be final thoughts.
You are a brilliant dude, man.
Ain't he? Ain't he?
Well,
not even on the mic marketing. This man is a genius.
There's nothing I can say that you probably haven't heard already. But the way you speaking gospel in here today, you don't sound like you trying to be outside too long.
Ooh.
Hey, hold on. Remember how we talked about best practices?
He's sharing best practices. It don't mean he practicing them. Okay?
Nah. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. The last thing I've been thinking about lately is dating multiple women and doing that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got this tour coming up. I got really focus on the more important things, and there's always gonna be a time, you know what I'm saying,
to find love.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm closed off to it. Like, I, just wanted to take some time for me. I gave a relationship 7 years of my life. I call it a bid. I did a bid. Like, I'm out now, B. And what's more exciting about that isn't me spreading myself amongst other women, is me being able to be intentional about what I wanted to do. I moved to a different city. I didn't have to consult with people. I'm making choices for myself and then relearning that. And see, I love that part.
It feels good.
And I'm telling you, I love every part of this game. This game called life, yo. It's always peaks and valleys and shit. You gotta love every part of it.
Yeah, and you do.
Because the shit would be boring as fuck if all you did was win. I'm telling you, everybody just want to win. But then if you only won, would you even like the game?
Would it be fun? No, we need a little bit of chaos. We need a little start over.
Get the people going.
Yes. Well, Ace, thank you so much for joining me. You dropped nothing but gems here. I appreciate you. And if you guys want to see this as a duo, we'll be joined by 4 other people. It won't be an orgy on stage, but we will be on the stage, y'all. I'll be joining tonight's conversation November, I believe, 6th or 8th in New York City, and then I'll be maybe the next week after in Atlanta. You know what? Let me get them dates. I actually got the flyer. Let me not just throw it out there.
November 8th, New York, and then it's
I think the 11th.
It's the 22nd.
The 22nd.
Yeah, in Atlanta.
So November 8th, New York, November 22nd in Atlanta. I'll be joining a lot of your faves on the internet and on the stage with tonight's conversations. Y'all make sure y'all get them tickets. Come pull up on us. If you haven't yet either, speaking to what Ace said, all of these chapters end with periods, but they are still ongoing chapters because I'm still learning about literally everything I put in this book, about myself, about how I value myself in relationships and with myself. So No Holds Barred, a dual manifesto of sexual exploration and power. It is a New York Times bestseller, baby. Make sure you go and get that wherever you get books. And thank you guys so much. If you're in Atlanta, make sure you tune in every Saturday, 6 to 8 p.m. off the clock on Hot 107.9. That's right, baby. I'm y'all just gonna have to hear me everywhere, okay? And as always, this is another episode of Selective Ignorance, where curiosity lives, controversy thrives, and conversations matter. See you next week.